number on the web, so he don't care. Professor Griff, legend in hip-hop, one of the originators. Hi, you're on with We Are Change TV. Aloha.
Peace, what's good with you, man?
This is the voice of RJ Hampton, and I want to say aloha to you. Are you settled in and ready to do this interview?
Yeah, but I didn't know you was calling me from an unknown number, because I just hung up on y'all about 3 times.
That's all right. Because we do know
that
the revolution is a process. You told us this. This is now the successful process of having connected with you. Do you have anything that you might be able to share that would identify that'd be a nice little sound check for me? Like just say something profound?
Very much so. Let me see. I'm the son of man black, the power that never denses, now born alive to ignite your 5 senses. That's my way of life, it's hard labor. I shine real light, reflects our savior now. I'm royalty, but you don't have to kneel. At least say peace when you are dressed to real. I'm the maker, owner, I'm building that construction, magnetic attraction, another word, suction, Allah. Justice, Allah, he or her. Now he is she, her and we born thee. Understanding of the black babies. Now that's what keeps my nation from being grafted. High science with supreme mathematics, given by the true and living prince. I'm here to bring sense to the domes that are dense. Although police may strangle, my black beans dangle, I come to show and prove a love from each angle, kid. And that's the way black is, y'all.
All right. You do know what day it is, and you do know what time it is, and you are watching We Are Change Hawaii. Yes, we are that dot out there in the middle of the ocean, and I am Boss RJ, and I am pleased to say that I am speaking to Professor Griff, and we are going to have a conversation in a moment. But first, you know what we have to do. I want to hear that opening tune.
Everything about our everyday lives has to change.
We are changed. We are changed. We are changed. We are changed. Freedom. I said freedom. Free your mind from mental, physical slavery. Change, we are free, we are free. We are changed, we are changed.
We Are Change is about truth. We Are Change is about love. We Are Change is about knowledge. And together, we can make a change.
Professor Griff,
Yes.
I want to thank you for that wonderful opening. I am pleased to tell you that we have officially started this conversation. And I'm not going to apologize for not knowing who you are. I did a quick look-see as to who you were, because my producer, Mike Dominguez, said it'd be worthy for you to speak to this man. And I said, oh, really? And so he said, yes, because he's into what we're into. And I said, what is it that we're into? And he says, we don't like Obama. And this man knew about Obama too. And what he did was is that you, I believe, did you cast a vote in this last election?
No, I don't vote.
That's a good thing. Had you voted, if you could have voted, who would you believe to have been the person worthy to sit in the seat to do what needs to be done to level the playing field?
Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, now that's an interesting response. Please, for my audience, because, you know, I'm here in Hawaii, and we live in a vacuum sometimes, here out in the middle of the ocean. Would you please identify who that individual is for my audience?
But what I can say about the brother, I think the baton of conscious hip-hop, to a certain degree, has been passed back to someone that we feel is growing into a where he's worthy to take the baton.
All right, now
like the prayers, like Immortal Technique, like NY Oil, like Wise Intelligence from Poor Righteous Teachers, like all of those conscious artists that are out there but don't get recognized.
I now want to ask you another question, because it's important for the viewers over here in Hawaii to understand why it is that, like Reverend Manning, who we interviewed last week, you object to the President of the United States, the individual who is holding the office. Could you, for my viewers over here in Hawaii, explain why you hold this thought?
Barack Obama is well aware of the particular agenda that is a Luciferian agenda, and he's participating in it willingly. Then we have to address that. So it has nothing to do with objecting to Barack Obama. It's the president's seat. It's the agenda that I object to. I don't care who's sitting in the seat. Are you following me? It's just so happens.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I would call him an ode to the well-to-do. He is a president for the well-to-do. I'm with you. What I'm trying to get is my audience to be with us.
Dealing with Barack Obama, and the reason why I try to give people a deeper understanding and let them know that it has nothing to do with my beliefs, simply because I don't want to be the thing that impedes their deeper understanding on understanding this particular subject matter. I don't want them to be able to say, Professor Griff believes that X, Y, and Z. We're not going to let that be a hindrance. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this has nothing to do with my beliefs. It has everything to do with the agenda of the United States of America, 500-year kidnapping and occupation of this particular land, including the Hawaiian Islands. Are you following me?
I'm following you.
A basic history. If your audience would only just do a basic Google search of some things, there's just some basic stuff that we just have to know and understand before we even enter this particular conversation. Them occupying that particular island and its natural resources and its people is just an age-old part of the age-old agenda of America, like they did the Native Americans here and brought back people here to develop the land. Are you following me?
I'm following you, and so is my audience.
So we have to understand some basic things. Now, regardless of whether or not it's an African American that's sitting in the White House, we have to look past that and look at Monsanto's. We have to look at the Patriot Act 3. We have to look at this global army. We have to look at the Federal Reserve, FEMA camps, the World Bank, Halliburton, the Bilderberg Group, Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations. Are you following me? All of these multinational corporations and organizations and secret societies, Barack Obama is the puppet, and they are the puppet master.
Now,
that we have to understand.
Now, Professor, that's a lot for a lot of people to take in. Now, when did you become aware of all of this? What was it that tripped your synapse to say, ooh, I got it?
Well, you kind of figure since I was a teenager, I was made politically aware of some things, being in the first resurrection of the Nation of Islam. You had to be politically and culturally and historically astute coming out of the ranks. So I've been on this for a long time, way before we put the public enemy thing together. I was already there. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, you know, I have to apologize, Professor Griff, for not knowing much about Public Enemy. And so therefore, could you, I know a lot of people that are going to be watching is going to go, oh, RJ, here you got this incredible human being on your show, and you don't even know who you're talking to. And I said, you know what I'm saying? And I said, well, that's true. I don't know this individual because I was busy doing something too. And I really wanted to really have a conversation with you because that's part of, I believe, the situation that I would call the problem, that this kind of show that I'm doing and the conversation I'm having is going to be the solution. Because I know for a fact that there are a lot of people under apprehensions and understandings about things, and that I thought it'd be important for people to here on this island to understand in Black history, because that's the theme. Like next week I'm going to be talking to Reverend Manning again about Harlem and a lot of other things. I thought that because you're a spoken word artist and that you came up in this thing that I really, I'm sorry, I didn't pay much attention to. I now am paying attention because you are all paying attention to something that I care about a lot. And now you're speaking my language. And although we started off, I really want to tell you how much I know what you're talking about when you say you're part of the Nation of Islam. And I think it's important for the people over here in Hawaii to really understand that, because we live in a vacuum over here. Do you understand, Professor?
I understand. I don't necessarily agree, but I understand. You would probably know more so than I because you live there. I'm only saying I disagree to a small degree simply because with the advent of the internet, no one should live in a vacuum. There is so much information that just myself have put on the internet to bring people's level of consciousness up to the degree where all of us are operating on the same plane. Instantaneously with the internet. If something is going on right now with the uprising in Egypt, we can get that news in a matter of seconds now. We don't have to wait days and weeks. Are you following me?
Well, since you brought up Egypt, and because we seem to be cyclic in nature from the Reagan years when Mubarak, after Sadat was assassinated, Anwar Sadat was assassinated, and Mubarak was the inheritor of the ranks in Egypt. You brought up Egypt. What is your take on the rioting, so-called rioting that's going over there, and the removal of Mubarak at this time, Mubarak.
Egypt is probably one of the richest lands as far as history is concerned on the planet. So for the people, they are, pretty much Johnny-come-latelys to Egypt. Because before Egypt, it was ancient Kemet, and it was very, very rich in history. But if you know and understand, you might want to go to Google and put in America's Greatest Hits. It talks about covert operations on the globe fostered by the United States government's CIA. So this is the CIA's greatest hits. And you can see how reading the document that was put out, I forget the gentleman's name, it'll come to me in a minute, but the document was entitled Confessions of an Economic Hitman, on how they destabilized government and installed public leadership. So Mubarak was there being friends of America, actually doing America's bidding, and I think and no one understands that the people are sick and tired of it.
Now, it is true that at the time that was all going down in 81 and 82, when that all transpired, we know that for a fact that our president was over in that region, and I do believe that he had a hand in being one of the American representatives in that whole Reagan, when he met Mubarak and gave him over $400 million just as a token of grant and aid for the country. So when one revolves back in history and then goes forward in terms of American government, we can see a hand. And I'd like for you to address this idea, and I know it's touchy because I think that part of it is this idea of the nation state of Israel and America and moderate Arabs. During the 80s, I believe when I started watching some of the videos, Public Enemy and other things like that, you all seem to have on military uniforms and carried guns. Could you tell my audience what that was, the edification, and how that relates today with all the problems in the Middle East we're having?
Well, my thing is, we did that simply because we wanted to, number one, raise the conscious level of our people. There was three things that the messenger of Most High Muhammad taught us that our open enemy would never teach us: the science of mating, the science of business, and the science of warfare. We wanted to show young black men throughout the country and throughout the world that we could be responsible, mature black men. And we wanted to show them what discipline even though we did it through the medium of hip-hop. And the guns on stage actually represent, and I think we spoke to it in our lyrics, the fact that our lyrics being the bullets in my mouth is the gun, in a song that we made called My Uzi Weighs a Ton. And we let people know that, look, the bullets, like bullet points, the bullets that we speak, which are our words, hopefully you will listen and they'll manifest into some positive deeds. You understand what I'm saying? But also it represented something on the other side of the fence, the fact that we were being occupied, and we were being colonized. And we wanted to put together a cultural, historical self-defense force to defend our people. This is why we called ourselves the S1W, Security of the First World, because we got tired of being called Third World people. We're First World people. The messenger taught us that the black man and woman is the original people.